All right, so let's talk about ser versus Estar. La batalla sigue. The battle continues. Okay, so the verbs ser and estar both mean to be in Spanish. So if they both mean to be, and they, by the way, they also mean am and are and is, depending on who you're talking about. But if they both, we'll get to that next. They're also both irregular verbs. So these are their forms. I've got soy, eres, es, somos, sois, son, and estoy, estás, está, estamos, estáis, están. And I've labeled which one means what. So soy and estoy are I am. Eres is you are, and that's in the informal sense. So is estás. Es and está are you are in the formal sense, and they also stand for he or she is. Somos and estamos are we are. Sois is y'all are in the informal sense. And son is y'all are in the formal sense, and they are as well. So if they both mean the same thing, to be, how do we know which one to use? So there's 4 different things I would suggest. I would honestly suggest that you kind of try to learn all 4, because then you've got this huge bag of tricks that you can always use. So number 1, use the acronyms. Doctor for ser and place for Estar. And if you memorize these acronyms, make sure you know which one goes with which. I always tell my students place has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters, and so does Estar. Okay, so that's what I would tell you to do, and here's what they stand for. So the D in doctor stands for date. So hoy es el 13 de octubre. If I'm trying to tell you the date, and then the verb I'm going to use is ser to do that with. O is for origin. Yo soy de Colombia. C is for characteristic. And by the way, that one, this one back here meant I'm from Colombia. Characteristic, tú eres inteligente, you're smart. I'm talking about you, I'm describing you. T for time, it's 5 in the afternoon. Again, I'm using the verb to talk about time. O for occupation, nosotros somos profesores, so we're professors, that's our occupation. And R for relationship, Paco and Marta son mis primos. Like, I'm telling you how I know Paco and Marta. That's their relationship with me. It doesn't just mean, oh, he's my boyfriend. Okay, although you would use the same one for that too. All right, in Estar, P-L-A-C-E, and the P stands for position. So the pencil is on top of the table. Position and location are similar, but literally position is like on top of, underneath, in front of, on the side of, below, things like that. And location is more like in my room, on the street, at the bank, things like that. A stands for action and progress. I don't know at what stage you're going to learn this, but basically, if I remove the AR ending of any verb and I add ando if it's an AR verb or yendo if it's an ERIR verb, then I will end up with a present participle, which is like saying I am talking, I am dancing, I am playing, I am reading, all of that stuff. So it's just like adding an ing. Adding that ANDO is like adding an ing. So that's what an action in progress is. And really, unless you're a native speaker, you're always going to put those andos and those endos with the verb estar. Estoy leyendo, estoy escribiendo, estoy estudiando. Okay? C for condition, like am I sick, am I bored, am I... oh gosh, I don't know. Am I sick? Am I bored? Am I sad? Am I tired? Actually, not sad. Sad would go under E for emotion. So sad, happy, worried, all of those things that are emotion type words are going to go under E for emotion. So if any of those things happen, then I'm going to use estar. If any of these things happen, I'm going to use ser. Another way is these catchy poems. So for how you feel and where you are, always use the verb estar. Or for what you're like and where you're from, that's when you use the other one. So you kind of have to know this one to know what the other one is. Okay. 3T is for temporary. This is like you're up a creek without a paddle. You don't know what doctor stands for, what place stands for, whatever. T is for temporary. So the T in Estar stands for temporary. And pretty much everything, all of these position, location, action and progress, conditions, and emotion, all are temporary things. Ser is used to describe more permanent things. So Oh, okay. Ser, I've got, besides date and time, everything else is permanent. So the trick here, and this is why you want to use it as a last case scenario, is that date and time are not temporary, or they are temporary, they're not permanent. So that's the kind of tricky one. But position, if the pencil's on top of the table now, it could be underneath the table next thing you know. Location, same thing. It could be in my room, and next thing you know, it's out of my room. Action and progress, I'm currently talking, and then I wasn't. Condition, I might be sick today, but if I take my medicine, I won't be tomorrow. And emotion, I might be mad at you today, but I won't be tomorrow. There's also these phrases. If you see de donde, it's always going to go with the verb ser because it's asking from where, which indicates origin. Numbers involved is usually me talking about time or date, so that's going to go with ser as well. Adjectives that tell you what people are like. So if you see something like pretty or happy or friendly, all of those things. Not happy, happy as in happy in life, yeah. All of those things would be descriptors of a person's personality, which would go under ser. And then job words. So if you see like doctor or student or banker, lawyer, engineer, all that stuff is going to go with ser because it's an occupation. Estar is going to pair nicely with donde. So pay attention. De donde, ser. Donde, estar. And that's because donde just means where. So if I use just where, that means I'm saying where are you from? Excuse me, where are you? Ooh, okay. And ser has the from. It's that day that indicates from. So if I put from in there, all of a sudden I'm asking about origin. If I say donde, that means where, and I'm saying where are you right now, or where is the dog, or whatever. So those are things saying where, as in right now, where. In means in or on or at, and anytime I'm going to use any of those words, that I'm talking about location. Bailando and corriendo, that's that present participle or that action in progress that I was talking about on the previous screen. So that's what it looks like. And whenever you see that right after the blank or in a sentence, whenever you're going to be using that, it's always going to go with the verb estar. Okay, so always pay attention to what the verb is being used for. So I see dancer here, so I'm going to hit next and show you is the verb that I'm talking about. And Marilyn is a dancer. So is being used to describe that Marilyn is a dancer. That's an occupation, so I would use ser. My dog is at my grandmother's house, which means I'm using is to tell you the location of my dog. And the meeting is November 1st, which means I'm telling you the date of the meeting. So that would be ser. Bill is very tired. I'm using is to tell you his current condition. So that would be estar. Belinda is silly but funny. Now I'm describing my friend Belinda to you. That's her characteristic, so that would be ser. We are studying for the exam. I'm telling you what we're currently doing, which is an action in progress. The class is boring. I'm telling you that the class is boring. I'm describing it to you, so that's a characteristic. That would be ser. He is my father. I'm telling you that dude over there, he is my father. I'm giving you the relationship between how I know that guy, the relationship between us. So that is ser for relationship. My homework is under my desk. I'm telling you with the word I'm telling you the location of my homework. So position or location. It's literally underneath my desk. If I only have one desk, then I'm telling you the location as well. I am bored. So I can call somebody boring with aburrido, or the class, and then I can also say I'm bored if I change it to estar. It's kind of interesting. So in this case, I used aburrido or bored in English with estar to tell my condition, but I can also say la clase es aburrida to say the class is boring. Same exact word, estoy aburrida or la clase es aburrida. But depending on whether I use ser or estar, ser is describing the class up here, and down here it's telling you my current condition. So let's practice real quick. El gato blanc negro. So I'm trying to describe the cat as black, right? So I am giving you characteristics, which means it's ser, and since my subject is singular and it's not yo or tu, then it's the bottom left box, which would make it es. La profesora blank hablando. I see that ando right there, okay? So my verb is being used to tell me something that is happening right now, action in progress. So it's estar, and again, it's that bottom left box because my subject is singular and it doesn't include the word yo or nosotros. So está hablando. Now I'm telling you that my friends are de Colombia. They're from Colombia. So from indicates origin, don't forget. So since I'm talking about their origin, I'm going to use the verb ser, and that is a plural group of girls right there. It doesn't include the word nosotros, and it doesn't include the word y yo, or the phrase y yo, which would mean my friends and I. So it's just plural, and it's not in the yo form, so it would be the bottom right box, which is son. Nosotros, blank en la clase de inglés. Right after the blank, I've got my N, which tells me the location. That's what I'm doing there. So it's going to be estar. Since nosotros is the subject and nosotros is the pronoun in the top right box, it's going to be estamos. Mi cumpleaños, blank, el 4 de agosto. So I see a number right here, and I also see a month. So I know I'm talking about a date. In this case, I'm talking about my birthday. This happens to be the weirdest example ever, I'm sorry, but I figured you would know what cumpleaños means. That means birthday, but do you notice how it ends in an S? There are so few words in Spanish that end in an S and are not plural. This happens to be one. So cumpleaños is singular, and you can see that right here I don't have an S on my possessive adjective. So anyway, that's important because I'm about to tell you what the verb is. So it's the date. So it's going to be ser, but it's not son because this is not plural. It is singular, and it does not include the word yo or tu. So it's going to be in that bottom left box, and it's going to be es. Mi cumpleaños es el 4 de agosto. Next one, las 8 de la mañana. I see ocho. I also see la mañana, which means the morning. So I'm talking about time. Time is always ser, and time 99% of the time, or probably more like 85% of the time. If it is not 1 o'clock, then I am going to be using son to talk about time. Only if it's 1 o'clock do I say es la una, okay? Los niños blank enfermos. In this case, I'm talking about sick. That's what enfermos means, like infirmed. So the kids are sick. That's plural. First of all, it's going to be estar because they are sick, and hopefully they'll take their medicine and get better. This is a plural subject right here, and I start at the top right because that's the plural side of the box, and I say, does it include the word yo? Nope. Does it include the word nosotros? Nope. So it's están, bottom right box. It also doesn't include the word tu, by the way. Next up, tu blank mi amiga. So I'm telling you that you are my friend. So what does that do? I'm literally telling you your relationship to me. So that's relationship, so that's ser. And since I'm talking about tu, that goes from the tu box, which is the middle left box, which is eres. So tú eres mi amiga. And that is it.